I suppose we do have another video here as well, and it's of the fight at Parnell Park from, well, I don't really know who, to be honest. Both sets of players, fans, coaches, absolute madness. We'll watch some of it quickly here.
Look at Jack! 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 Down! Down! Oh, Jack! Mick, Jack!
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Yeah, just absolute madness there. Like I was saying to you off air, it was like something out of The Walking Dead. You're seeing some chap in a grey jumper and a chap in a black jumper, black jacket behind them, and they're just, desperate to get involved in whatever way they can. Like it was between Nave Barrig of Dublin and it was Ullart the Balag of Wexford. Just crazy. What were your thoughts on that?
I mean, what's new? I mean, every week in the GAA there's a story coming out. I mean, I do think the issue is getting worse and worse. Like, we're hearing about referees being hospitalized, and every week really in the club championship there's a brawl, there's a fight, there's a little melee, there's a little, at the very least, there's a little scuffle these days. I mean, it's everywhere in the game. I think if you look at it, the two lads that run down, the guy in the grey hoodie does hit one guy from obviously the group of lads that they're fighting. I think he waited, and I think your man, if you watch the video, your man hit someone and then the guy in the grey hit him. Look, it's gang mentality, it's mob mentality. It's if you hit mine, I hit one of yours. That type of attitude that has really not crept in. That attitude has been in the GAA for years. I mean, the Dublin Meath games of the 1990s, they absolutely killed each other game after game after game. I do think, and I've been outspoken about this, I think the GAA absolutely loves this. I think the GAA absolutely loves this because for years and years, they have not cracked down. They have not given harsh punishments. I mean, have we seen, like, the perfect example is the Galway GAA Brawl. That's the one I will always go back to. The fact that they're running down the tunnel, we were watching it, myself and Luke, we were watching it. We see, a little scuffle looks like it's going to break out. They cut for the ad break, and then they come back. They reverse on the ad break. They come back. Darren Maloney starts talking again. He was just prompted to start speaking. They're showing the fight, and then Maloney comes out with, "This is very unsavory scenes. We don't like to see this in our game." Stop, will you? Go for the ad break then. You love this. You love that everyone's going to watch this. People that aren't even watching the GAA are going to be like, "Oh, what's going on here? Why are they all fighting?" It's one of those things where, look, drama sells. The perfect example is to look at UFC fights. What have been the ones that have done the most numbers? The ones with the bad blood are the ones that get the most eyeballs on it. And let's be real, we wouldn't be talking about Nave Barrow against Ullart the Balag here on this show if that fight had not have taken place. That's the reason that game is doing the rounds, because a fight happened, because there was bad blood, because there was some drama in the game. But you have to be careful because it escalates to a point where now you have people, and if you listen to a part of that clip, someone saying, "Oh, that old lad is digging a head off an 18-year-old guy," or something. Like, you have situations where it's actually getting dangerous now. And like, look, Leinster Council is saying that they're going to investigate the brawl. They absolutely should, because I mean, me and you have played GAA, ever since we were kids. Like, there are people at every game that just go, and the second there's a threat or a little chance of a fight, they sprint in like madmen, looking to get involved. Like, so it's present in the GAA, and I don't think the GAA does anywhere near enough to stamp it out. So until like there's some serious crackdowns, I'm talking like rugby level, where if you even speak to the referee, if you're not the captain, you get in trouble, that type of thing. Unless there's serious crackdowns, we're going to see it again and again and again and again. And I guarantee, I'm calling it now, see the way that they're playing Dublin in the league this year and they have Colin O'Rourke as their boss, I'll put all my money down that there's going to be a fight in that game. All my money down, because they're going to bring in a load of lads that played with Meath in the 1990s that weren't afraid of Dublin, and they're going to instill that attitude into the Meath lads coming into the Meath team, and they're going to get Dublin, especially if it's in Port Talton. I don't know if it's in Port Talton off the top of my head, but if it's in Port Talton and they get the dubs up there, what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, I agree. Like I think it is in Port Talton as well, actually. So you
Yeah, there you
definitely
go.
you could definitely see a scenario like that developing. But yeah, like I don't know what it is. Like it just seems to be for whatever reason, like there's not enough like serious punishments being handed out. Like as you've been said before, like how many brawls have we seen in the GA this year, and how many times do players get sent off, and then all of a sudden a couple of weeks later they're rescinded? Do you know, like I mean
Yeah.
that is just a common thing to happen in the GA at the moment. Like there doesn't seem to be as much punishments handed out for these type of things. And like I'm sure they'll do an investigation and they will ban some sort of people or whatever. Like obviously there was a scenario in Wexford that happened, and I think there was a manager there that got I think a 56-week ban or something of that nature, a large ban like that. But like does it just seem to be happening all across the board in the GA at the moment? Like what do you think? Is it just being recorded more? Is it being picked up more? Do you know, like, is it because of social media now that these things like spread like wildfire? Like, as you've said before, and me and you have kind of talked about this off air, like, this definitely has been a thing that's always happening. But at the same time, like, it does seem to be just getting out of hand, and like, it's happening in high profile games. And I don't know if it's because everyone's just pissed off with the cost of living crisis or everything. I don't really know what it is, but people just seem to be very, very angry at the moment because like whatever between players fighting, but when you're having like just regular fans, like there was obviously in that clip as well, like there was I don't know if we seen it in that particular clip, but there was a woman that went over with a hurl and to hit someone in the back of the head. Like it's just like how can you in your right mind think that's okay? Like it's bad enough for the players, and I can understand the physicality and everything else. And you know, obviously when you're man marking someone, they'll be going at you and you'll be going back like right, you know, all the rest. But for the fans and everything else to be getting involved, like it's just absolutely mental in my opinion.
Yeah, because the worst bit about that clip was the players stopped fighting. If you watch that clip
Yeah.
back, the players are actually standing looking at the crowd like, what is going on? Like a proper brawl is broken out in the crowd over whatever's happening on the pitch. The players stop fighting and the fans keep going. And I said this, that, and I'm saying it now, I'm calling it now. There is going to be, if you're an NBA fan or if you know about the NBA, the Malice at the Palace, Detroit Pistons against Indiana Pacers, where the fight started on the court and ended up in the crowd. The Armagh Galway Brawl was right on the Cusack stand, right beside the Cusack stand. The brawl between Armagh and Tyrone in the league that had 5 players sent off, that was right on the end line, like right on the end line. When you're saying that, look, could there be a stage? Could there be something where there's a real hothead player there and a fan throws a bottle or a coin or a lighter or something and it hits a player and the player goes for the fan? I mean, look at it, like it's happened in other sports. Why can't it happen in the GAA? Especially with the way that we're talking here, right? We were speaking earlier about how the GAA is a lot more closed in. It is a lot more like people know your business and people know who you're related to, etc. What if there is some personal stuff here? Say Kilcoo play someone. I'm not saying Kilcoo are like a bad team, whatever, but I'm saying say a club team plays another club team, and one of the fans that's right on the sideline knows something about one of the players that's on the pitch, and they can say something during a brawl to the player when they're already fired up, their temper's already gone. What's to stop this going into the crowd? Oh, all the security that's at GAA matches. There's no security at GAA matches. I mean, there's literally guys with a high vis jacket on who, when they see fists swinging, what? Oh yeah, because they get paid so well, they're going to jump in and break that up. Like, no chance. So the only thing that stops a mass brawl happening is common sense. But, you know, we're relying on that a little bit too much now. And I'm not saying that, you know, we need to come in, you know, guns blazing, but we do need to look at what is the mentality that causes this and tackle it more of a psychological type of way, that I'd say. Look at it as, why is this, you know, at such a level in the GAA? I don't think that the problem has got worse. I just think it's becoming more visible now. I think that if we all had cameras like we did in the 1990s, I'm sure that there would have been a video coming out every week of a scrap of a GAA match. But like, it does seem, because of the amount of videos that are flooding through, like, sure, remember the Wicklow one a few months ago there, where a coach hit a player or something and then everyone was fighting, and that was at an under 15 match. Obviously, the referee getting hospitalized. Like, there does seem to be a new case of violence at a GAA match pretty much every month, 2 months, like 2 months max. So we do need to look at psychologically, why is this happening? Because realistically, that Wexford coach that was banned for 56 weeks or whatever, me and you both know he can show up and use somebody else's name at a junior match or something, and he'll be able to stand on the sideline. Like, what is the ref going to do? Go up to every coach at a junior match and be like, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Like, he can go. There's nothing really stopping him. There's no one at the, there's no one at the gate of the park checking who everyone is. ID, please, sir. Yeah, you're not allowed into this game. You got banned 52 weeks ago. Like, he'll be back before that 56-week suspension is up. So we need to tackle it from more of a realistic point. Psychologically, why is this happening? Why are players getting into fights all the time? Why are fans now starting to get involved in the fights? Why are managers getting involved in the fights? And tackle it more from a realistic point where it actually is sustainable.
Yeah. Pie Faces says soccer hooligan culture in the GAA now sad but true. Like, wouldn't go as far as that, to be honest, but like, I do see your point. I do think there is a lot of more of these sort of incidents that do seem to be happening. And as you said there, like, I don't know how like the GAA fixes this. I think they just need to be more strict on punishments. I think that needs to be the thing. As you said, it's a hard thing to manage because you can ban fans, but at the same time, how do you control them coming in? Like, we've all been to Parnell Park before, and I'm sure it's the same across a lot of other provincial grounds up and down the country. Like, they just don't have the manpower or the security to be going to these games, unfortunately. Like, especially when, like, this was an intermediate game, I think. Like, you just don't have the manpower to be going to so many games all across the country. So I'm not sure how they go about fixing that. And the sad thing is, as you said, like, something could, very tragic could happen here. Like, something very, very bad could happen here, and then everyone gets the wake up call. Like, I don't want to look back on soccer culture or whatever, but there's been some very tragic things that have happened in that sport before, and that's when people have woke up and then been like, right, we need to fix this, we need to address this. And I don't know if the same thing is going to happen in the GAA. I hope they sort of come to their senses before something like that happens, but it could happen. Like, you only have to look at Loudmead back in 2010 as well, when the referee was being attacked by fans and everything else. And obviously they've cut out pitch invasions in Crow Park, like, which is good, I suppose. Like, I don't really know if it changes too much, to be honest. Like, I think pitch invasions happen up across the country anyways. But yeah, like, I suppose we could go on and on about it, but it's just something definitely needs to be changed too.
Yeah, no, because that brawl as well in the crowd. I mean, bear in mind, I don't know if people are watching this have ever been in Parnell Park. If someone got cracked there, like proper knocked out, it's just pure concrete behind. Like, it's pure concrete steps with edges, very sharp edges in Parnell Park. If someone gets cracked there and falls back of the head, and that could be seriously, seriously dangerous, and that could have been tragic. So we do need to think about that, because movies and stuff like this and everything that we consume in, in movies that we watch have really made people underestimate how much damage can be done by one punch, especially when you're not expecting it. Like Ryan O'Dwyer, one of the hardest hurlers that we've ever seen play. Sure, he got his whole jaw, cheekbone shattered because of one punch coming in at the side that he was not expecting when he was over in England. This happens. Like, people's heads are not bulletproof. Like, if you hit, there's a reason that, boxers wear gloves, UFC fighters wear gloves. Like, it's one of those things that we need to be careful with this. I do get that. Look, clubs, it's tribal, it's where you're from. And if someone that you care about gets hit, that instinct takes over and you do want to help out your friend and the person that you love and care about. But, when it gets to a stage where you have like a woman smacking a guy in the back of the head with a weapon, like a hurl can be an absolute weapon. Smacking someone over the back of the head with a hurl, that's so dangerous. Like, and the first thing the GAA needs to do, I think, is they need to come out with a statement, and a real statement, where the GAA president comes out and says, right, from now on, whatever you do with a GAA match carries the same punishment if you did it outside of a GAA match. So if you punch someone on the sideline, That is the same punishment if you punched someone and it was not on the sideline. If you assault someone on the pitch, it's the same as if you assault someone off the pitch. And then we would see the rate of it go down, especially when there's cameras and phones everywhere. You know, a match ban, because we're getting a lot of people coming in who aren't necessarily typical like they're not diehard GAA fans. So if a fight kicks off and they hit someone and they get involved in the fight and then all they get is a GAA ban, they're not really going to lose too much sleep over it. They're not going to be like, oh my God, I'm devastated. Like, they've avoided serious punishment for what deserves serious punishment. So, yeah, that would be the first thing I'd say. Come out with a statement where you make it clear that this will not be tolerated anymore, and then go from there.
Yeah, and you know what, you make a great point there as well. Like, I think if either one of us now were to walk out in the street and hit someone over the head with a hurl, you know, you're talking about, that's assault. You know, you could be talking about jail time. You know, if you hit someone randomly on the street, and you know, that's assault. Like, you could be talking about jail time, prosecution, and who knows what could happen if they fall, hit their head. You know, there's been stories before of people hitting people and someone hits their head and unfortunately passes away. It's happened. There's stories of it that's happened up and down in this country and abroad as well. So definitely hope the GAA can clamp down and the guards get involved there.